Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this pre-bootcamp edition of this training. I just want to show you or explain to you what you're about to expect from the bootcamp. Basically, it's a program that's going to run for about 2 weeks plus, then plus extra 2 weeks for your questions and answers while you do your practical works. Graphic design is about expressing your ideas, your mind, your personality in pictures. You might have to blend some effects, colors, and other things just to show it graphically so that one looking at it would be able to understand what you see or what you are trying to communicate. Like these things you see here are, let me just highlight them, kinds of graphics design stuff you might want to do or work with when you are designing graphics. This is a magazine cover, and the inner side of it, okay, these are flyers, and you're going to have more of them because of the emergence of social media kind of flyers, whereby people just design for online purposes, no longer for printing as we used to do back then. These are roll-up stands and stuff like that. You'll see many kinds of this. Is more like a paperback. This is a mock-up version of it, but these are things you need to know how to design, and you'll be taught how to do them. Stuff like this, yes, this is more like a kind of 3D effects on a character, but it's just more about designing and blending colors. CorelDraw handles all of this for you. Okay, I'm just taking you this. This is more like a book cover. Maybe what you might see online is likely something that like a mock-up, but this is the way you design it in the first place. You put the front cover design, then you put this section we call the spine. This is the spine, and then you do the back cover design of your book cover, and that should be done. Okay, that's everything about this. You're gonna learn how to do them and other things too, flyers. And this is another book cover. Still the cover front, the front cover, the spine. Always remember the spine. If depending on the kind of book, if you are doing a program that needs stitching, it doesn't really require a spine, but if it's the one that has to be bound, remember the spine based on the volume, the number of pages it carries, and the quality of paper you're going to use for printing. But basically that will be when you step into the bootcamp, you really understand all those in details. Okay, this is more like a mock-up of a finished work. CorelDraw can still do all of this still, but the main design of it you can do is better done with CorelDraw or maybe any other graphic design applications. Okay, this is it. This is the magazine cover still. One of the projects we are going to see handled in the bootcamp is right before you now. We are going to work on this, and you will design all of them from A to Z without stress. These are other kinds of designs, right? All that matter is someone wants to express an idea, someone wants to pass an information, then you put it in picture, combining it with several write-ups, text, and effects. It still expresses what you wanted to do. Okay, just taking you through them. Not necessarily that we are going to do all of them one by one. That's going to take us a long time. But if you learn the principles behind them, and then we pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe like 10 samples of them, and attend to them, you would get it right. These are simple things. Basically, the pictures are stuff either you snap yourself, or someone that is trying to design from you would send you the pictures, or you get some of them from online, and then you do the blending, the addition of colors, the background, and other things you want to do artistically just to make it blend. This is a picture, and then you write your text by the side. Graphics is over. Simple things. Okay, or add your picture, add your text, then you know how you manage your colors and the blending effects, and before you know, everything is perfected for you. Communication, it's all about communicating what you intend to do. Okay, this does matter of picture, background, text, and some other small effects. All these effects you would learn how to apply them, and I think for you that have registered for this, you know what you're looking for. If you have not registered, I would implore you to get on board. Just get in. You can't have any better value elsewhere else than what you're going to get from the CorelDraw Graphics Design Bootcamp. This is not I'm packaging for you. All right, I just want to run through some of the things. Like this is a calendar, it's one of the projects we're going to see work on. These are stuff like this was made for a CD cover, but at the end of the day you print it and then the center is going to be marked out. Okay, sorry, not like DVD plates. Okay, these are designs, everything, all these effects you find them in CorelDraw. You might not necessarily produce these pictures or this kind of pictures in CorelDraw, all this. Okay, you can scan them or you snap them with camera, copy them to your computer, download them from internet, but the work of combining them together, blending them with maybe other colors and other things to produce a similar effect will be done by you. Okay, these are designs. All these are simple stuff you could do, but yet still you are communicating idea. Okay, look at the concept here now, stuff like this. Okay, just learn how to do all these kind of things, and it's very easy. This is another back mock-up. Okay, everything here done from A to Z using CorelDraw. You might pick some pictures maybe from internet and all that, or if you have them already taken, that's okay, but the combination, the arrangement, the blending, the effects that will produce whatever you want here will be done in CorelDraw. Okay, so these are like all these kind of ribbons for anniversary, logos for certificates and all of that. You will learn stuff like this here. Okay, I've gotten back to the beginning again. Let me just quickly run through so that you see the things that you have the chance of learning how to design by registering in this bootcamp. For instance, if you have, let me assume that at the end of the day we design only this one or this one, and then we didn't design this one. As a student registered, you have a right to call us attention. Please, I want to know how to design this particular one, because the teacher, I might want to assume that, okay, having been able to do something as complex as this one is very easy now. But you say no, I want to know the dimensions. Okay, I want to know how to determine the size of the spine and all of that. Of course, you should learn that already naturally. All right, let's get into the work of today. I want to close this. Today we'll be looking at this, like I promised, just to show you how this is done. But take note, getting to the stage of designing this may not necessarily have to be your first thing. Okay, in CorelDraw, the first thing you have to learn. It is assumed that by now you have been introduced to the interface. You have been told how to use these things and all of these tools, and how to navigate some of these menu options around. That aside, we would try to explain everything in detail, or one as we are progressing. But for instance, when we want to do one particular thing, we would explain what we are trying to do, but the full detail of all this is assumed that you have registered. In other words, this is not, when you come to the bootcamp, this will not be your first lesson. The first lesson is going to be to introduce you to all of these buttons and all the functions you can find around the application window. Let's start. First thing to do is I need to create a page, okay, where I'm going to do my work, okay, whereby this is a square design, probably meant for an online publication. It's an online flyer, so in that case it has to be a square shape. Maybe a standard flyer basically is about A5 size, but for me I want to just use the smallest portion of it, more like 148 by 148, or let me say 150 mm. So my size of my page, okay, you would have learned this if you were part of when you join the bootcamp. The first lesson you're going to have is to be introduced to this interface and how things work here. But for now, so here we zoom in there, okay, and paper size I want to customize it to 150 mm by 150 mm, then press enter. Okay, that gives us that look, the square look. The next thing is to draw a rectangle around this border of the page, so that whatever we want to do will fit in to that rectangle. So we go to the rectangle tool. The rectangle tool is if you press shortcut of F6, it will land you there. Double click on it. When you double click on it, it will just automatically add it to the page. But while you don't want to double click, or if you don't want to pass through that way, you could as well pick the tool, just sketch and draw anything. You might want to resize it using the options in the property bar and all of that, but that's not our interest for now. So I want to delete this. I go back to pick tool and then press, while it is being highlighted here, I press delete. That goes off. The next thing I want to do is to, you can see this one is already picture, so I cannot really do anything here. Okay, it's an exported work, but I just want to start all over again. I have sent in resources, like for instance the background picture we are using here and this logo. Yes, this logo initially, for those that are in the bootcamp, you will have to likely learn this one first of all, how to draw all this kind of stuff first before coming to this stage. But for us today, we are going to bring a finished version of this. The background, of course, you cannot really draw background, you only need to take pictures and all of this, bring it in graphics design. You will need a combination of many things. Okay, taking pictures, even character that you might not want, you have to look for the character, download it and install in your system, or look for a substitution for it that will match out well. That's just graphics. Let's start. We have our page border here already. Let me assume that I color that page what's this color name? Orange. Okay, this orange color to represent this, just to show that we have something in that place. To remove this black border around it, this small black border, I have to right click on the blank color. When you come into the bootcamp, you would have learned all this first of all before coming to this stage. This is more like the second or the third lessons you likely have. Okay, so that's it. Now let me go and bring in the stuff that I need to use for the design. I want to go to my desktop, so design stuff. Okay, not the design stuff, presentation resources. Okay, so I'm opening it. These three things now, I highlight them and copy, then come into CorelDraw and just right click any space and paste, or Ctrl V. For those of us that are already used to computer, it's Ctrl V. So I'm moving them out to keep them in different places. Alternatively, you could go to file menu, click on file, click on import, Ctrl I, then browse to the folder, and the folder we were working on was what is it, presentation resources. Okay, presentation resources. Let me zoom out. Okay, presentation resources, right? And then you could just import any of them. You click on the space, or you just press enter on keyboard, it will be delivered for you. So I'm deleting that one though. Okay, we have these three things. One for the bottom side, this background was used at the bottom side. Okay, I'm just enlarge it by holding with the pick tool at hand. You click and hold this to move, to transform it, as to make it bigger or smaller. So I am zooming out. I just roll my mouse wheel. Okay, but there is a zoom tool which has been explained in the other video, that those that will come into the bootcamp would have to learn first before coming to this page, but I have to show this to you so that you can see how graphics is being done. So I want to reduce this a little. I have to hold it by the handle with my pick tool and then drag it in to be smaller. Okay, to also lift it inside, I have to click on it and move it into wherever I want to do. The next thing I want to do is to make that background is okay. Let me put this one here, but I can see that this background here is not as sharp. This one is too sharp. It will be dragging space with my right up here, this tiny right up. So what do I have to do? I have to make it a little soft. That effect is called blurring effect. So if I go to bitmap menu, and then come down to blur, and then choose Gaussian blur. Then with your Gaussian blur, let me say I want to move this one slider back to the 0 level, and then moving it up here, I have to click on this lock preview. This one previews only once, this one locks, this one resets it back to 0. Okay, then this is the default setting, but I want it to be at 0 level, and now lock it so that anything I do, I want to see how far it has gone. Okay, that's coming closer to what I'm looking at. Okay, I can see it's looking almost the same thing. That's at about 7 points. Click OK to accept it. The next thing I want to do is to make sure that this thing enters inside this box and stays there perfectly, as if, you know, that's where I want everything to be. Oh, it's more like this side, this white is to the right hand side. So what do I have to do is to flip it. If you go to the toolbar while it's being active, you will see this button here, mirror horizontally. They also have the mirror vertically. This has been treated already. Okay, this is assumed to have been treated already. For you that is coming today, this is what you're coming to get now. So mirror it, it flips it the other way around. I just hope that that is the way it should be. Okay, no, I can see this place, it's only here. So I want to undo, Control Z, or you tap on this undo button here. Okay, that's okay. I can see this place. It's just that my blurring effect was too much, but we can still maintain ourselves for now. So I now have to put it inside this box. So what do? Effects, power clip, place inside container. Then while it is being active, I click on inside that box I drew on the page, which was like my container. So I have put that one now. But you see, because for me, I have already set my system to put it wherever the power clip only places it where it should be automatically, or where I kept it. By default, CorelDraw will always take you, for instance, when you put it inside container, let me reset something. If you go to tools menu, you go to options, or customization is better anyway. Okay, options, you come to edit section here. I hope you are seeing clearly. Under options, under workspace, you see edit. Under that edit, you can see here auto center new power clip contents. This thing is usually checked at the beginning. It's usually checked, and when it is checked, what happens there is that if you want to get this thing into power clip, you say effects, power clip, place inside container, then you place it, it automatically lifts this thing from wherever it was here into the center. That would have happened to this other one when I did it, but because I have disabled that option already. So in this case now, I want to undo, Control Z. I want to go back to the tools menu, options, and then remove this check mark on it. Okay, when I'm done, I now click on this and say effects, power clip, here, place inside container. Look at it there. Even when I place it, it still remains where it was. By reason of this, I would have done my best way of doing it would have been to first of all bring it to this place, position it wherever I want it to be first, before I now think about that. Okay, this one needs flipping, because you can see that this stage is on this side, so I have to flip it here. You've seen that already, and then bring it to this side. It doesn't mean that after editing, putting your power clip, you can no longer edit it. I think for that reason, let's get in effects, power clip, place inside the container. And this is the red container I'm putting it. You can see that it just stays where it is because I have made it not to automatically center it. Now we want to go inside this power clip and do some work inside it. Now right click on it, choose edit contents. I've been cutting inside the box, but hey, here I cannot see the other side to know where it was. But for me, I'm okay with this setting. Whatever it is we are going to see, I want to bring in some part of this light in. So part of it has entered, so I'm moving it up with my pick tool. The next thing is the blending. You can see that they are joining like stone to stone, iron to iron. It's not well blended, so I have to blend this, that one will fade into the other and the other one will fade into the other, and they'll all go that way. So what do? I can see that this one really doesn't need fading that much. My own is a little smaller. I have to make it bigger, and I blend this other one. Let's get in. So first of all, another way to get into inside this box is like holding Control and then clicking on the power clip content. And if you also hold Control and click out, you exit. Or you can right click and choose edit content, and then when you are done, you right click on any object and then say finish editing this level. Thirdly, you could go to effect menu, power clip, and then choose edit contents. And when you are done, you can as well come to this bottom corner here and click finish editing this level. Whichever option works for you. Maybe most of the time you are see me using Control and click on the power clip and it will still open. Alright, so that's that. I want to Control and click. The next thing I want to do is to make sure that this one goes to the back while this one comes to the front. This one needs to be on top of the other one, and then this one has to be a little bigger, so I have to stretch it here. Okay, and bring this one up. So I right click on the object and say order, bring to front of layer. Shift plus page up is a shortcut for it. Basically, I could have just pressed shift plus page up, and it will bring it up to the front. Okay, and when that is done, the next thing I go to transparency tool. This tool has been treated exhaustively somewhere else. which you have to get into the bootcamp to be able to learn how to do. But I have to go to my transparency tool. Under effects tool option, if you click on it and hold, it brings the options of on that flyout. Then I take transparency, return back to my drawing here, and click at one point, let's say somewhere around here, and drag. This kind of transparency is called linear transparency. If you look at the property by it's showing here, there are uniform transparency whereby every part of the transparency, every part of the object is transpired. There are other kinds, conical and all that, one side, the other one curving out and all that. They are for different kind of effects, but what I wanted was basically linear, and that linear now is now automatically placed for me here. But I don't want this direction. My own direction is from bottom fade to the upside. Okay, so that's cool for me. I'm moving it now so that it will I don't want to see this demarcation line. Okay, I have to bring this one in and then push this one up so that it will start from when from after this other place. Any transparency before this text, this image here will likely fade in that place and will show that irregular blending option, which I do not like. Now let me go out of here by clicking finish editing this level. Let me right click so that I can learn faster, I can get it, and to view it here. Cool, I like this one. The only challenge I have is that my blending here, my blurring effects was too much. This place is no longer there. Maybe if I want to correct it, I should have to go back to this folder, copy this particular one alone, and then come back here, paste it, stay outside here to do the blending or the blurring. So bitmap menu, blur, Gaussian blur, and instead of that 7 now, I know that I would definitely have to make it a little lower. Let's say maybe 5, so that something will still show. Okay, then I can now go or stay here and edit everything the way I want it to be, so that I can see. I want to see this place shine like the way the other one is shining. So I'm making it bigger, a little more, and that's too big. Reduce it a little further. Okay, this is where I'm using to judge the sizing. All right, so I now say power clip, effects, power clip, place inside container, and that's okay. So I just edited it by clicking control or holding control on keyboard before clicking, and I can see that effects there. I still have to bring it up a little. It's a little up. Yeah, it's giving me what I want now. Then the next thing is the blending part. So control plus click takes me in, and I'll pick my transparency tool. This time around it has come up to be on top here. Just make sure that I tap it from the edge of the other one, then drag it up a little to blend. Okay, that's cool. Next portion is the blending of this upper side of this to the outer background. I can see that this my stage is a little closer to the border. Okay, so I just hold control and click there and move this one in, move it in a little to wherever I want it to be, reduce it a little. Then I pick another rectangle tool this time around. Okay, a rectangle tool by this under the toolbox here. Click on it to open. I'll just draw a rectangle on my anyhow. I want to draw it from top to cover a space whereby I want to create that blending effect. That rectangle tool, I have to color it this orange color. Remove outline by right clicking. When you click on a color, if you left click, it colors it. If you right click, it colors the outline. Okay, let me zoom in so that I can see. Okay, so you can see the outline. If I right click here, it colors it that color. If I left click there, it colors the inside. So for every shape you draw, it has both outline and fill. You can see the difference. This is the fill color, this is the outline color. So I want to click on the fill color to be the orange here, which you see, and the outline color here, it also be no color. So I click on right click on the outline. So that's done. Next thing is to blend this onto, you know about blending now. So picking the transparency tool, I just tap on somewhere at least whereby it will not affect this other side. I don't want that side to show. Okay, just from that point now. I want that perfect blending to okay, that way. See, is that what I really want? Okay, I can see that I've covered this picture too much. I've made it too small. So edit content, raise my picture upward a little, and then move this guy upward further still, or possibly to leave it here. Then bring the transparency from afar and let it also fade into a far distant point too. So I'm bringing it in. I want to enlarge this. I want to enlarge that. Okay, all I want is to get that effect. Okay, so I'm adding that while this one is being here, I hold control on my keyboard to select this other one so that both of them will now work together, and now move it up a little. But that is also leaving a lacuna. I can see a small space under here, so I have to tap this other one up a little to blend. What matters to me is that let my blending match well, let things move or go in line with what I wanted. I can see that this text, this picture here was bigger than this, so enlarge it further, until this light comes into this point, and possibly take this other one upward a little. And I'm a little cool to go, but I'm not still enjoying that blending. It's not well balanced for me. Not well balanced for me there. So let me highlight everything together and move it up a little and see how it will go. Okay, it's almost getting there, but it's not still perfectly blended. Okay, I cannot tell how this one, whether this image here joined with the upside or not. But let me go back to the editing mode, stretch this one a little upward, okay, possibly to the edge of the page, and see how it will blend this time around, and then adjust this one. Ooh, we are getting it. So I'd bring this side a little in. Okay, so that is it. Yes, that's it. Okay, we bring our NPC logo now in. You can see there's something that happened to this NPC logo. I may not see as it is now. It's getting bigger, but this tiny line still remains as it was. I think I have to leave it that way, so that and now bring this NPC logo into this place and reduce it to size. Okay, reduce it to size. Now, having reduced it to size and place it there, the next thing I might want to do is to make sure that it is properly centered with this image here. So what do I do? While it is being here, I hold Control Shift on keyboard, click the other one to select it, to then press C on keyboard, that is to center it alignment. If I press E puts it horizontally, and C takes it the other way. So I want to undo, Control Z, it gets back, and that is where it is. So that's where it is. So I'm recording this now, and this is how it is there. Then just adjust it a little to enter, and then shift and click on the other side. They become two. Then the first you click will now align to the last one you click, so it has aligned with Control C. That's okay, but I could see that the inner elements here are looking too strong, too heavy, thicker than what I'm seeing here, and I know the reason for that. Okay, because the outline wasn't meant to reduce with size of image, but you will learn that at the bootcamp. Let me leave it there. But for sake of making my work neat, I have to perfect this. This one is also too tiny, so I can select on it and then say maybe 1 point. Okay, that's cool. But this side now, this is a grouped object. If I right click on and say ungroup, I would be able to select on this inner circle that has this circle. So undo, and when getting to this point now, I would right click on it and say edit content. That's inside there's a power clip content element there, but the outlines I see here, the outlines were too thick, so I have to come to outline color, having selected all of them like this. Come to outline and then choose a width that looks cool for it. I don't know, but the most important thing is that I want it to be scaled with image. Next time when my image is smaller, the outline should get smaller, and when my image is bigger, the outline should get bigger. So 0.5 there takes me in. All right, I like that setting now. So I'm grouping back everything. Right click those, having selected all of them together, I right click and say group. Control G is a shortcut key for that. So let's go ahead. I want to type this 2022 Expo. So I'll go to pick my text tool. Text tool shortcut is F8 on keyboard. Text tool, and then type 2022 Expo. Capital letter Expo. And when that is being done, the next thing is to get back to my pick tool. This one is called pick tool. The first one there, you would learn that in the bootcamp, okay? And pick a font that matches with what I'm seeing there. Or maybe the first thing I should do is to pick a color for it. While it's being highlighted, I pick the white color and then pick a different font. The font there is Arial Black, and then bring it to maybe the center. Anyhow, if I just put it and hold Control or Shift and click the other one, then I press C on keyboard, it should align on its own. But if I still want to work on the sizing, okay, so that it will look more like what I'm seeing here, is a little bigger there, so bigger, and the spacing in between is, this one is a little more compacted. So what do I have to do? Pick on shape tool, the shape tool here, before after pick tool, shape tool, and then hold it by this. You see, hold on, let me bring this in outside so they can see clearly. Color it black first. Pick my shape tool. You see this place, it adjusts the tracking of the characters. This one adjusts the paragraphs. Assuming you have multiple lines, it will adjust how space, the size of the space that will be given between first line, second line, and third line. While this one adjusts the size of the space that is given between each of the characters. Okay, so I want to adjust it in a little. Okay, that's cool. Now bring it back in here and color white. So that has taken care of that portion. This one even looking a little bigger, so let me reduce a little. Thirdly, making this big 08 days to go effect. Same thing, take your text tool and type 08, or possibly I want to duplicate this. If I hold it and drag it while it's coming down, I right click and then drop. When I right click, it duplicates it. Basically, if you see, at the moment that I click now before dropping, see a small plus sign comes up under the mouse pointer, such that if I release it, it becomes a second object. But I want to delete that. So here now, I'm coming here and type 08. Increase the size to whatever I want it to be like. Okay. It's more like it's a long, something long. So use an area narrow font and make it bigger and stretch it this way. This is okay. I think it's giving me what I wanted there. I can see the arrangement is looking cool, but there is something here that gives it a perspective. This perspective here, I would have to let me say, first of all, break this text apart so that I can treat only the zeros separately and treat this other one. So go to arrange menu, break it apart. The shortcut is Ctrl K. When breaking it apart, then I would want to duplicate this, moving it a little out, and now press right click on the button on my mouse. It will make a copy of that. Let me see, if I color that one now separately, you can see a different color now. It could fit the perspective now. Okay, so here is, this upper one has to be white and the inner one has to be gray. So inner is a little gray, the upper one is more of white. So you can see that depth now, but the upper one is a little down, so the thing is pushing. We are giving a perspective of like looking like if it's pushing from up down to the upside. So we're going to apply the similar effect to this upper side by duplicating this to the side a little and then coloring that one a little more. This one is going to be white, while the inner one has to be the this color here, and then we return this one to perfect white and then bring it in a little to what we think it should be. Okay, so you see that depth now, it gives you that 3D perspective effect. Okay, so I'm bringing it together. If you are doing some other more serious graphics, you might want to add shadow to it so that it will really make it look live. but in this case this one didn't have any shadow, so we don't have anything to worry about. So next thing here is days to go. Pick a rectangle tool and draw a small box by the side to the size of what you want. Then I'm coloring it on that orange color, then add here days to go. So pick my text tool again and type days, small letter, days to go. Now becomes big because we want to emphasize it to go. Okay, so here it's Arial black, and I pick my shape tool, and then this time around you can see the paragraph stuff I told you about. This time around we are pushing it from this way, we are closing the cap in between the character from bottom, while this one closes the space in between the letters. The other one closes the cap in between the paragraphs. Okay, so I get back to my pick tool, move it up and place it there, then color it white by clicking on the color. I might want to center it very well, so select to this other one. So C puts it at the center horizontally, E puts it at the center vertically. I would have to group that. Another way to group is coming here to say group or Ctrl G, or you can right click here and say group. That's cool. Enlarge it to my size, and let me just stay and do some works. The next thing is to rotate. It's supposed to be put it in a skew mode. There are skew and rotation mode. When we learned about pick tool, okay, for those that are coming to for those of us that are registering, you need to register. You should learn that because we've taken time to explain each of these tools and how to use them. So if I click on it to put it in rotation mode, I have to, instead of turning it this way or this way to rotate, I have to use this skew button to skew it one way or sideways. That skewing now makes it to have that, give you that perspective view. If I look at it that way, this text is too big. Let me reduce it a little. Okay, and that's one. The next thing to be done is to give it this shadow that makes it feel like it's standing on something. And there are many effects you can apply there, but for us, let's take that shadow effect. So I go to my interactive section of tools, click and then get to drop shadow, and click on the drop shadow, and then maybe choose a preset of shadow, perspective top left, and that's cool, but it's pointing out this way. I don't like that pointing out. I have to move it a little in to see how far it will work for me. Okay, let me stretch it this way to the upside. Okay, that's cool. In order to make it perfect, I have to go to arrange menu and break it apart. I want to treat only the shadow alone, so I reduce the shadow some more. I don't want it to show in this thing. So that's the shadow being reduced, I think. And there's so much inside here, I could still maybe skew it in a little. Okay, that's cool. Take it from there, highlighting these two together, and I bring it and drop here. So this is how it is. Give me the size a little better. Is that okay? Okay, I do not enjoy the size of this. Okay, so in that case I'm going to just stretch it up a little to give me that that depth. I'm seeing the height there was looking poor. Okay, so that having been done, the next thing is to produce this other outside. So pick my rectangle tool and then draw something that's similar to what I'm seeing there. I think this my 08 is too deep down, so I have to close it a little, possibly take it upward some more, just to give space to this other guy. I want to delete it and put another rectangle there. So I'm drawing another rectangle here. This rectangle has curved corners, so how to curve that corners, I have to go to my shape tool and then just with it and drag on the corners a little, it will curve it out for me. Color it. Oh, there's no color. Okay, but it only has an outline. Okay, it doesn't have a fill. A fill is no fill, but the outline is white, which is, just right click on that white thing. I want to make it a little thicker here by selecting this outlines pen size to, let's say, 2 points. Okay, that is being done. The next thing is to type in these things, which are literally not big stuff to do, but quickly let me just come to this side, bring my table here, my box here. In this around, color it white until, let me use here and work on what I'm trying to do. You can see the date here being Monday 12th. Then the next thing is Saturday 17th, DEC 22. It is all centered. So while the text tool is being active, I could go to the, if you get the property bar now, the property has changed to that of a text, so I change the alignment to center. Okay, the next thing is to check my fonts that it's what should go here. Let me use the area font first and see how it goes, and then make it bold, reduce it to whatever you do. Or okay, that's just it. Just drag it into this space first. I want to do the formatting now. Before then, you can see that this inside that place too, there's another small rectangle that has a different shading. So I'm picking that rectangle this time around. I'm making my own drawing there, and also using shape tool to curve the edges. Curve the edges here. Okay, sorry. When I select this, I select on this first, then click this on second, then press E on keyboard to put it on the center vertically. I'm reducing it now with my shape, my pick tool. All I want is just to see that there is a perfect flow, or they are relating together with the previous background without having so much differences. So let's bring it in, which is more like what you saw here, what you see in this place. Okay, that is being done, but let me reduce this place a little. Now let's do formatting. Monday is smaller. I want to break all of this apart. Please take my text out first, okay, so that I can work on it. I'm breaking them apart by saying arrange, break text apart. Monday is very tiny in size, and likely okay, spaced between. If I put it here center C, it comes in there. Then 12 is bigger. Okay, let's say to this point, bring it back. Sorry, just made a mistake. I just jumped to and fro. So I'm bringing it back here now. I have to close these caps a little, reduce the size a little, position all things well. So that is that one there. In that case, I want to apply the same, this kind of properties. I want to expand this one a little. I want to apply these same properties to this one. So Saturday should look like Monday. So I click on Saturday, go to edit menu, copy properties from, I click on it. I said text properties, probably fill outline, because everything is almost the same. But for me now, what my interest is basically on the text properties. So I'll check the rest of them, text properties, and then click on this Monday. You can see that Saturday now looks like Monday. I click on this 17 still and say edit, copy properties from, and then text properties, what I'm selecting there. Hey you, what did I click? Edit. I must have clicked in a wrong object. Copy properties from this. Wow, hold on, something is wrong. Let me move this step like this. That is the reason you see me trying to move it out the other time. Go to edit menu, copy properties from, text properties, and this. I was mistakenly clicking on this rectangle, thinking I was clicking on because it's there. I never knew. That's why I see that thing, and that's the more reason it saw me the other time trying to take it away. But the solution to it is more like send this one to the back. Order, send to back first, or let's say behind off. Okay, behind this my guy, just be behind him, so that even if I bring it in, it will not overshadow. It won't. You can see now, even if I want to click on it, it doesn't want to show because it has gone behind it, although I never feel it yet. So I'm putting it here and coloring. If I color this my guy now, let's say white is already colored, okay, no color, then I color this my guy here, this one here, that's orange color. You can see that it's showing clearly now. So highlight these ones, put it at the center of this other one too. Sorry, highlight all of them together and put at the center. Make sure that they are well aligned with pressing C on keyboard. That does it. I'm highlighting these ones now to give it white color. Now what's next there is the December 2022 effects. So bring it in here and repeat a similar process which you know already. Draw the box, do this and that and that and that, and then put it. Before then, let me move these people upward a little and then put this one here. Please, are you aligned with this? Let's see. Control this E on keyboard so that it's perfectly aligned. Okay, then I need to draw another rectangle there and also curve the corners perfectly. I think it's perfect curving, right? This one is perfectly joins up together, and the corners there, the place is white and the text inside it is black. But because this one, I drew this one later after them, so I have to send this one back up. As while the text is being active, I go to arrange menu and then go to order, bring to front of layer. It comes up. What's the color? Okay, the circle is the rectangle shading behind it is white, while the color is this orange, and this rectangle here doesn't have any outline. So right click on no color. I think we are getting almost done with this section. Okay, next things to be done is, okay, let's make this more angle. In other words, this is calendar science, a kind of logo showing us calendar. Then this is an arrow pointing from here to here. It's more like expressing everything graphically. So let's see how to get that done. Pick my rectangle tool. I want to draw this thing, so I just draw a rectangle here. You know, this one I'm not like I'm showing you everything how to do from scratch. Basically, you're supposed to have these things in your own like gallery or somewhere you used to, you know, your museum where you save your clip arts, okay, your clips whereby you make use of. But for us, being those that are learning, I have to talk everything from beginning to the end, and there in case the video is longer. So I now, having done that, I now have to convert it to curve, then pick shape tool and be able to manipulate it by clicking on this. Okay, you know about this if you've learned about the use of shape tool, which has been, okay, it's for you that is learning today. You don't have this already. Okay, take note. A full recording of all this is already there for those that will be learning at the bootcamp. This one is just made for this event of today, okay, to show you that it's not a spiritual thing. It's not something that we're importing from China. It's something you will be learning practically. Okay, so bring this one down still, or possibly delete this, okay, by double clicking. Delete this by double clicking, and then pull up this other one further from those nodes, and then here has more like a curved shape. It's not even a straight line, so I want to curve it. Right click to curve, and I right click these segments. These are called segments. To curve, right click this segment still with the shape tool to curve, and then I move it a little out and in just to make sure that things are getting blended for me. Possibly close up this one further, and the depth here is looking much, and this side too. Okay, so how does it look like? We are not really trying to achieve perfection, but and of course there is no standard for whatever you want to do. It's somebody's idea, the person that drew this thing, that brought up that concept of putting that, and for us we see it's fine, and we just want to show you that it could be done by anybody else. Okay, only that you might have to spend time doing all these things. Sometimes you have them in your clip art. All you need to do, copy and paste, pick an old work, edit it from there, and then you get those effects and minor things you use inside it to duplicate and work with. Oh, that's the much I want to handle that place there. So just color it white, and there should be no outline. Bring it in, there should be no outline. Then bring it into this place, reduce it a little. I'm not enjoying this depth of this place. Hey, give me some more depth. So click on this point with my shape to deepen this. So it doesn't look like it, right? Something is not balanced. Hey. Okay, we'll take this, bring this one out a little, and bring this one to the same level with this one. Bring this out into this side, and stuff like that. Let's see if it matches what we want. Okay, that's it. So what I'm doing now is just to press Ctrl and space bar to switch between the pick tool and the shape tool. Ctrl and space bar switches. Now it is shape tool, so press Ctrl and space bar, return to pick tool. Somehow I have to leave it like this so that, hey, where did I center it up to? Highlight all this and center together. All right. Calendar symbol is I need to save this work. Let me just save something. Okay, let's see, desktop. In that project folder is called presentation resource. I want to call it expo. Remember this thing, 2022 expo. So I've gotten that point now. We now draw this calendar. It's a similar process I have to repeat. Not necessarily that you should be doing this all the time, but you would have to find a way of getting your clip arts ready, so you'll always use them whenever you want to use. But this is teaching you how things get done, not necessarily. Okay, you can always draw them. You can as well download it from internet. Okay, it doesn't mean that you must draw everything. Look for it on internet and download. So I drew the 4 rectangles, one big one, and then 3 small ones to hang around. Then this big one is colored the color. Okay, the big one doesn't have any color. It's an outline, but for me I have to duplicate it inside here, and then select with this other one, and then do what we call combine, so that it will create that depth there. Okay, if I color it black and remove the outline, you can see that it has its own. While I also color this other one black, for instance, and remove the outline, it has that shape for me. Then the next thing is to draw this 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 3 by 3 dots. Pick rectangle to draw the first 2 3. Okay, then also duplicate, right click here, and then right click before you drop, it becomes the second one. Then press Ctrl and R to repeat. If you keep on pressing it, you keep on repeating that Ctrl R till infinity. The last operation, Ctrl R repeats the last operation. So I just undid that, and this is too big. I have to close it a little. Is that what we have here? Yes, something similar. Hey guys, everybody color black and then remove the outlines. I'm done. But actually it's not black, it's a white coloration. I want to close this. It's too looking let it look more like a real calendar. So put it here and color it white this time around. Color white. Take note that I have to draw 2 rectangles and combine it to be able to form this thickness. Outside that, then you have to use outline instead of fill for this one here, because that one is might give you a little tough time. Okay, so that's dates. Okay, I want to bring up all these things together and bring them up. The bigger container usually confuses me most of the time. So order, bring to front of layer, shift page up, then so that I can always work on that. The next one is to do this date and time thing, or time and location thing, which I think it's still a similar process. Maybe let me type the time first. 9:00 AM daily. Okay, you know that because we are trying to match this. If you are designing for yourself, you always think of the way to do it that will fit your purpose very well. Then the next thing, the location here, we put FCT Sports Complex by Old Parade Ground, area 10, Karaoke, ABJ. So Control and spacebar toggle between the last text being text 2, or the last 2 being text 2, and again it goes to pick 2, control spacebar, the last, you can see the last 2 here that we use for text to, control spacebar brings it back to this one now. Okay, if you were using this one now, control spacebar takes it back to pick 2, control spacebar brings it back to this one. So it helps you to stop to toggle between the last 2 you use and pick 2 being the default 2. Okay, it's more like this. I can see it's longer than what it was supposed to be. So what will I have to do now? I have to shape it. I have to shape it a little. It was too long. So how do I shape it? Right click on it and say convert to curve, then pick shape 2 and then highlight the whole of these nodes together and then drag it in to wherever I want it to stop. Okay, so this guy is supposed to be colored white, but because the background is white, I don't want trouble now. Okay, let me color this my man blue. Color this my man blue. Send it to the background, shift and page down, or just right click and follow the process. Then here should be white color. I think it's beginning to produce what we want now. That blue doesn't have when we get it, the blue has actually a white outline. So then draw this logo, time logo. Okay, you can go to if you press shift control F11 on your keyboard, it should begin to show you that, but for me I want us to go to insert symbol character, control F11. You can see it here. Sorry, text, insert symbol character. It's not expanding. Okay, and I want to go to search a category called wingdings. If wingdings doesn't have it, I'm going to look for it. You can see some of the symbols that you might likely want to always use in for your graphics. So you could look for what you're looking for now is time symbol or something that looks like that. Search for it. I'm dragging it down. Okay, this one looks more like a 3 p.m. thing. I'm using that one still. Okay, this is 3 p.m. but there's possibly a 9 p.m. Okay, in that case, okay, 9 a.m. I'm going to correct it by taking the right one here. Okay, so when I get it, drag it and drop here. That's okay. Color it white, then pull it in here, and that's okay. Remove the outline. We've gotten, okay, this also stays inside another circle. So we draw another circle inside it, highlight the two, E and C centers it well, color the circle white, send the circle down to the background with shift and page down. Then I now highlight all of them and then bring them up. You can see, but because it's white on white, you cannot see, so I have to click on the other one and then color it. Perhaps I think the color it's supposed to be this orange color because the background is orange. Let me remove the outline, that black outline there. Let's see. Yes, so you can see we have produced this time symbol. The final thing, or the next thing we have to do, is it that big? Okay, you shift forward a little. Let's see, a little smaller. Okay, you know, when you're designing graphics, you always use your eye to observe things, that things are the way you want them to be, not necessarily otherwise. These were red though. These are red colors. Anyway, for us designing, we are trying to do something perfect, just color it red, no wala. The next thing is location symbol. Okay, if I were to redesign this now, I will be using this orange instead of mixing too many colors. Next thing is location symbol. So I copy this into this place, right click before dropping it to duplicate it. While you're moving, you right click and then you duplicate it. On group, then remove this one, draw this. I think this guy doesn't have any such thing. Okay, I don't know if something like this might seem to relate a little, but this one is more like oil, but we're going to use it and convert it. I think it's good enough for you to learn that you can use any object to turn it into something else. So color it red as it is, turn it the other way around by flipping it vertically and then turn it in here, then reduce it to size. Okay, I'm bringing it to size. Reduce it. Okay, it has entered well. Put it there. Possibly center it. E and C centers it well. Then pick a circle tool and draw a circle in between there, and then put it on this one. Holding down shift and click on this and press C on keyboard. I want to see, that's the way location icon looks like. So here now click this and this together, combine. By combination, it carves out that central point. It becomes more like transparent or makes a hole wherever the two of them enter, what do you call it, like whereby each of them overlapped. Let me use that word now. Okay, not necessarily intersection. Where they overlapped, it creates an opening there. Okay, so that you can see through. If I put this color now, you can see any color the other one is always, you can always see through. Okay, so I'm undoing it. That is that. Let me move it into that place where we're supposed to keep it. When I keep it there, even if I kept it here, for instance, just position it well down, highlight, hold shift on my keyboard and click on the other one to select it, then press C, it will align. It's the same thing as saying go back to like arrange menu, align and distribute. You see the process now, centers vertically. Well, it's good that you learn it all that way, but this thing didn't have a color, so I want to see the color of the background. So if I highlight this now, it's in a grouped object. Either I'll hold control and click on it while it is in a group to highlight it. You can see the property now shows here. Okay, but outside that, if you click on it now and say click on any color, for instance, everything else is taken. So what do we need to do? Undo, right click and ungroup. I don't want to ungroup over. Let me say just say ungroup option. No ungroup. Hey, ungroup is here. Then click on this one alone and then remove the color, so you see through the background. Let's see what is remaining now. We are done, right? I save my work. Control S to save. But before then, I want to export it so that I show you how you manage to send me your work. Highlight this one. I'm deleting this one now. This one is no longer useful. Highlight this one. Export it by going to File menu, Export. You can use JPEG option or use PNG. I like using PNG most of the times. Okay, and then I want to go to desktop where I saved it inside that lesson folder, whereby I call the presentation resources and then put expo.